Welcome to Media Breakfast, Cliff Notes Edition. We save you the time, you keep the insight. Today we're breaking down a long discussion about Israel, Gaza, and jihadism. Not to pick a side, to understand why the sides exist. It opens with a hard claim. Some enemies can't be talked down because they don't fear death. Sam Harris says if you want to think clearly, you can't just count bodies and call it morality. You also have to ask what each side is trying to do, and what each side would do with more power. Sam's basic idea is simple. Two actions can both cause death, but still not be the same kind of action. He gives a concrete example. A bomb that misses and kills civilians is different from a gunman who targets babies on purpose. Sam's point is that intention matters, not as an excuse, as a guide to what comes next. He also uses a thought experiment. He says if Israel wanted to kill every Palestinian, it could have done it long ago. He argues the fact that it hasn't suggests something about Israel's goals. Then he flips it. What would Hamas do if it had Israel's power? Sam's answer is blunt. Hamas has said in words and actions that it wants Jews dead. Stay with me here, because this is the core of his frame. Sam wants people to treat this like a war against a belief system, not just a border dispute. He says terrorism is only a tactic, meaning a method someone uses. The deeper enemy, in his view, is jihadism, which he describes as holy war ideology. He goes further and calls jihadism a death cult, meaning a belief system that praises dying and killing. Sam argues some fighters truly believe death is a shortcut to heaven, and if dying is a reward, normal threats don't work. That's what he means by deterrence breaking down. Deterrence means scaring an enemy into stopping. If the enemy wants to die, fear stops being a tool. Sam also says this ideology makes civilian deaths more likely. His claim is that militant groups hide among civilians on purpose. He uses the phrase human shields, meaning fighters put weapons near families so the other side hesitates to strike. And he adds a darker claim. He thinks Hamas wants dead civilians on camera. Not because Hamas cares about them, but because the images spread and Israel looks evil. So what does that change? Sam says it changes how moral judgment should work. You can't treat more deaths as automatic proof of more guilt. You have to look at the design of the violence. Was it deliberate? Was it preventable? Was it the goal? This is where Eric Weinstein comes in. He doesn't start by denying Hamas brutality. He starts by challenging the frame, meaning the way the story is set up. Eric says the words you choose can decide the argument before it begins. If you say Israel and Palestine, you imply two sides with two claims. If you say occupied Palestine, you imply one side is an occupier and the other is resisting. Eric's point is that people get trapped inside preset scripts. He also warns against turning this into Islam versus the West. He prefers a broader bucket, totalizing ideology. That means a belief system that claims answers to everything. He includes North Korea's worldview, old Soviet communism, and jihadist movements. Eric's argument is that the danger isn't one religion as a whole. It's any system that refuses outside correction. If nothing can challenge the belief, it can spiral into extremes. Here's why that matters in real life. If you label an entire faith as the enemy, you end up treating ordinary people as suspects. Eric keeps coming back to that risk. He says the Muslim world isn't one thing. It's many factions, many kinds of belief, and many motives. If you flatten it into one villain, you misread people, and you may create more enemies than you remove. This is where people get confused. Sam isn't satisfied with the "it's complicated" answer. He thinks complexity can become a hiding place. He argues that under the complexity, there's a simple engine: martyrdom. Martyrdom, in this context, means dying on purpose for the cause. Sam thinks that engine can drive extreme violence even when politics and money don't explain it well. To him, that's the non-negotiable part. They also clash on images and social media. Early on, Sam calls social media poison. He says even true information can be toxic when it never stops. He thinks it makes societies ungovernable, meaning harder to lead because it creates constant outrage. Eric agrees images matter, but in a different way. He says images often decide who gets blamed. If a child is pulled from rubble, people ask, who caused that? Eric says the answer isn't always as simple as the person who dropped the bomb. He uses an analogy: suicide by cop. That means someone forces police to kill them. Eric claims Hamas wants something like infanticide by cop, meaning Hamas wants Israel to do the killing on camera, so the world turns on Israel. This is one of Eric's strongest points. Even if Hamas is morally worse, Israel can still lose the global story. And losing the story can mean losing allies, legitimacy, and long-term safety. Then the host keeps pushing the question everyone asks. Okay, what should we do? Sam's answer is stark, but narrow. He says jihadists should be treated as enemies you can't negotiate with. He's careful to separate that from all Muslims. He even separates it from all political Islamists. He means the people committed to violent holy war. Sam argues that joining a jihadist group should be a death sentence in practice, not as revenge, as a way to stop it from spreading. But he adds a limit. He says the West has improved morally by becoming more careful about killing innocents. He doesn't want to return to firebombing cities like World War II. He also says graphic images can overwhelm reason and make clear thinking harder. So his practical recommendation is targeted operations, as precise as possible. Ideally, not big public invasions. He talks about covert action, meaning deniable action, where a state can plausibly say it didn't do it. He points to Hamas leaders living abroad and suggests their time should be limited. Notice what shifts here. Eric pushes back that this is easier to say than to do. He says it's hard to draw a clean line between someone who supports jihadist ideas and someone who will commit violence. He warns that kill the ideology can slide into the abyss, meaning you start doing terrible things and calling it safety. That's Eric's deepest warning. A society can wreck itself trying to defend itself. If your definitions get loose, almost anyone can become a target. Eric also offers a positive vision, and it's controversial. He says Israel is stuck in a cycle. Hamas commits atrocities. Israel hits back with force. Civilians die. Then the world reads Israel as the oppressor. Eric says Hamas wants that reaction. So he proposes denying Hamas the payoff. His idea is like a land for peace schedule, but with a threat attached. Every attack would lead to Israel taking more land and making it official. He calls this annex, meaning take land and claim it as your own country. He even imagines ceremonies naming the land after victims. His goal is to punish attackers without producing the footage Hamas wants. Less rubble, less dead family imagery, less propaganda fuel. Sam and the host push him on it. Wouldn't that still require force? Wouldn't it still look like occupation? Eric admits it's not clean. He says the point is incentives. Incentives are what a system rewards. Eric thinks Hamas is rewarded by images of civilian suffering because it creates pressure on Israel. He says you can't care about someone else's children more than their leaders do, if those leaders use children as tools. This is the real split between them. Sam's worldview is about identifying the most dangerous belief system and stopping it, even if the conflict never ends. Eric's worldview is about how conflicts spread through stories, symbols, and bad incentives. Sam fears appeasement and denial. Eric fears overreach and moral corruption. They're both trying to avoid catastrophe. They just picture different kinds of catastrophe. They also touch a related topic, anti-Semitism, meaning hatred of Jews. Sam says he finds it strange that hatred of Jews persists whether Jews are weak or strong. Eric says anti-Semitism has different sources. He argues some far-left politics uses Jews as a counterexample, because Jews don't fit a simple story where oppression always creates poverty. He also says some far-right thinking hates Jews as a successful minority seen as not really belonging. That matters because one conflict gets used inside other conflicts. The Israel-Gaza war becomes fuel for campus fights, culture war slogans, and conspiracy thinking. That makes calm judgment harder. Near the end, they look for hope. Sam offers cautious hope that the shock of people defending atrocities might break the spell of certain fashionable ideas. Eric is less optimistic about quick change. He thinks the problems run deep in institutions. Then things widen out. They move from, how do we respond to Hamas, to, can Western societies still act well? Eric talks about degraded readiness, meaning lowered ability to respond. He points to intelligence failures, internal fighting, and cultural distractions. Sam agrees the concern is real, even if the details are debatable. When you step back, this talk isn't only about Israel and Gaza. It's about what kind of enemy they think they're facing, and what tools they think are allowed. Sam is protecting the need for moral clarity and security against a violent ideology. Eric is protecting the need for restraint, careful framing, and not letting the enemy control your reactions. Both land real hits that the other side underplays. Sam is right that intentions and ideology can matter more than body counts, and some groups openly reject peaceful coexistence. Eric is right that language and incentives shape outcomes, and sloppy force can destroy your values and make everything worse. They end without solving the core dilemma. How do you defeat a group that hides among civilians without becoming the kind of force the world fears? Sam leans toward precise, relentless targeting of actual militants. Eric leans toward changing the game so atrocities don't produce the payoff attackers want. So where you land between them doesn't make you a monster or a genius. It shows what you fear most: the enemy outside or the damage we do to ourselves. This was Media Breakfast. Cliff Notes. Take the map. Make your own route.